Sons of the Forest is finally here. The long-awaited sequel to developer N-Night's hit indie game The Forest, which released in early access in 2014 and officially released in 2018. Well, it's 2023 now, and the question is, was it worth the wait? Sons of the Forest starts out much like the first game. We crash land onto a deserted island, but this time instead of looking for our son, we're searching for a missing billionaire and his family. Once on the island, the formula is more or less the same. You need to scavenge supplies, gather natural resources. Using these various items, you can craft tools in order to help you survive. After all your ride here crashed, not all is lost though, as this time you have one of your fellow passengers, Kelvin. That's right, his name is Kelvin, not Kevin, not Kavin. Kelvin helps you with some things. Kelvin lost his hearing in the crash, so he doesn't speak, but he does know how to follow simple instructions thanks to your handy-dandy little notepad. He mainly helps you gather resources and can finish structure builds for you, and even carry around some groovy tunes. That's where his benefits end, though. Despite looking like a tactical badass, when it comes to combat, all Kelvin can do is stand and point at the enemy. But, luckily, he isn't the only AI companion you'll find, though. One of the missing people you're looking for, a woman named Virginia, which appears to have some kind of mutation whilst on the island, is someone you'll meet frequently. The first few times you meet her, she'll be skittish and run away. Eventually, once she sees that you're not a threat and you mean her no harm, you can equip her with a GPS tracker and even weapons, specifically one of the pistols and shotguns in the game, which appear to have infinite ammo for her. I don't know if that's a bug, but she's definitely not overpowered, so I'd be okay if this is a thing that stayed, but she definitely helps out in a fight. The story is much like the first game, with little notes and environmental storytelling here and there, with a few cutscenes that are actually pretty cool and done really well. And it had a big twist ending that, much like the first game, left me very confused with a lot of questions, but I'm not the smartest guy around, so maybe I just didn't get it. That being said though, I did enjoy the story. But let's be honest, that's not really why we're playing the sequel to The Forest. The Forest wasn't a story-driven game by any means. That's not why people played it. We played it for the excellent survival mechanics with that dash of horror mixed in. And luckily, Sons of the Forest excels in this category. Whether it's building up your base, scavenging for supplies, or fucking up some cannibals, the game is awesome. And your arsenal this time around is much more enticing. From the return of the always awesome katana, which is way better in this game by the way, you got your trusty axes, and several new weapons including a pistol, a revolver, shotgun, tactical bow, crossbow, stun baton, stun gun, and more. The ammo is scarce for the weapons, but they are a blast to use, so I mean, tit for tat. This is, however, in early access, so there are some issues. Specifically with the guns, I haven't really had any issues with the crossbows or the bows or anything like that, but there seems to be some hit registration issues occasionally, especially with the guns. Like, there's plenty of times where I've shot directly on a target and they don't react because they weren't hit. It's not often, but when it does happen, it's kind of frustrating, especially because of how scarce the ammo is. That brings me to my next point, which is other issues. It's in early access, so we can give them the benefit of the doubt that they are going to fix these things, but performance for me has been all over the place. I don't have the beefiest PC in the world, but it's nothing to scoff at. Usually I'm getting around 60 FPS, but most of the time it's between 30 and 40 FPS, which is somewhat consistent unless it's winter. Then the frames drop pretty bad. And then occasionally it'll dip to 20, and even in rare scenarios or during transitional periods between caves and outside, it'll drop to single digits, which is not super fun, but it hasn't been game breaking for me. The seasons actually are pretty cool. So far there's, spring, there's fall, there's winter, all the big ones. And other than the performance hit, it's really cool, especially winter, because it looks great. The the whole environment changes. There's less animals and cannibals about. The lakes freeze over, and you have to pay attention to how warm you are and find some warmer clothes. Otherwise, you're going to have some debuffs on your stamina. Luckily, it doesn't last too long. It's about a week in game that the seasons change, so you don't have to worry about dealing with certain seasons if you don't enjoy them that much. And then there's the building. Oh, the building. It's somehow got better and worse at the same time, and I know I've said it several times already, but this is early access. So I'm not saying it's an excuse, but it is something we have to keep in mind. There is a lot more customization when it comes to the building, which is a good thing, but certain structures either are bugged or just don't seem to work for me. Maybe it's my dumb brain, but I cannot for the life of me get a bridge or a zip line built, which is gonna be important because your movement speed is slow as shit. That is probably my biggest complaint about the game, is your walking speed and your sprinting speed is so fucking slow. And the island is 4 times bigger than the original, so you're going to be doing a lot of trekking. Especially if you're like me and you like to explore. But hopefully these are things that they'll fix or change. Being in early access, they seem to be very transparent about when the game is getting updates, which is always a pleasant surprise, because now more often than not, devs do not seem to want to share what is going on with their game. But all in all, Sons of the Forest has some issues, but is a worthy sequel that I'm enjoying immensely, and gets me excited to see what the future has in store for the game. Let me know in the comments down below how you guys feel about the game. Are you waiting to get it? Did you get it? Are you liking it? What don't you like about it? And don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for more. And yeah, that's all I got for you. I'll catch you in the next one.